Trigger warning. This podcast contains descriptions of various abusive situations. Listener discretion is advised. You are listening to the Preacher Boys Podcast, a podcast shedding light on decades of mental, physical, and sexual abuse within the independent fundamental Baptist movement. The testimonies shared on this podcast are told from the personal experience and perspective of the survivors. Not all legal outcomes are known or final. Any suspect is presumed innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. Now, here is your host, Eric Skwarczynski.
Welcome back to the show. On a previous episode, number 246 of the Preacher Boys podcast, I discussed the resignation of Dr. Steve Pettit, president of Bob Jones University in South Carolina. Pettit took office in 2014, a year after a Grace report revealed how the college's leadership had mishandled numerous cases of abuse that occurred both on and off campus. Survivors claimed that in cases that took place at the school, proper authorities were not notified, and in many cases, victims in counseling at BJU were blamed for bringing the abuse on themselves. Many people hoped that Pettit's appointment would bring about much-needed change. However, on March 31st, 2023, almost 9 years after taking office, Pettit resigned from BJU. Just a few days before his resignation, he wrote a 5-page letter to the board that revealed several concerning issues about Dr. John Lewis, chairman of BJU's Board of Trustees. Pettit accused Lewis of holding off-site secret meetings without informing key university leadership, adopting a posture of secrecy and hostility toward the board and the administration. And he also claimed, most disturbingly, that Lewis interfered with the reporting of a sexual harassment case to the school's designated Title IX coordinator, among other things. Pettit threatened to resign if Lewis remained in office, and, of course, about a week later, he did. In a surprising turn of events, on April 6, 2023, Dr. John Lewis has tendered his resignation as well. Dr. Steve Pettit, whose official final day at BJU is May 5th, issued a statement regarding Lewis's resignation, saying, quote, "Late this afternoon, I was notified that Bob Jones University Board of Trustees Chairman Dr. John Lewis has resigned from the Board of Trustees effective immediately. He has served Bob Jones University for 32 years as a board member and 7 years as a chairman. His desire was to honor the mission and vision of BJU, and he worked tirelessly to that end. During his tenure, the university secured regional accreditation through SAC-SCOC and regained our tax exemption. I wish Dr. Lewis God's best." End quote. The reason for Lewis's resignation has not immediately been given. It's also unclear whether Lewis's resignation will affect Pettit's original decision to resign. Regardless, it's clear that change is coming to Bob Jones University. As always, I'll keep you informed of any developments as they occur. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next episode.
Thank you for listening to the Preacher Boys Podcast. If you appreciated the content on the show, please leave a review on iTunes and don't forget to connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter with the handle @PreacherBoysDoc.